Hi, I'm Donna Wolf from Naztazia.com.
The Crochet Fishtail Braid Edge is a simple and elegant addition to a blanket as well as a scarf, hat, and any other items. It is made primarily with linked slip stitches on both sides of the previous stitches. To do this, I have a finished item such as this granny square ready, along with some yarn and a 5.5mm crochet hook. I'm making a loose slip knot since I have to work one of my stitches into it. I'm working into the first corner of the granny square to begin the edge. I make a yarn over and draw through the 2 loops on my crochet hook. I have to turn my work so I can view the initial loose slip knot that I made. And I'm going to work a slip stitch into it. Once that is made, I'm going to move on with making the second stitch. I insert my hook into the top loop formed by the previous stitch. And then I insert my hook into the next stitch of my actual project, and then I pull this loop through both loops that have been on my crochet hook. Then I have to turn my work to the reverse side. I'm not going to work into the 2 loops I just made. Instead, I'm going to make a slip stitch into the next loop over in the back. This loop is a little difficult to see on this second stitch, but all other stitches it's very easy to see. I repeat this process again of going under the top loop and then the granny square, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops, and not the 2 loops I just made, but into the next loop over I make the slip stitch, which from now on sort of sticks up a bit with subsequent stitches, so it's a bit easier to see. Then I repeat the process of under the top loop, granny square, yarn over, pull through, and then find that 3rd loop over and make a slip stitch into it. This back loop is a little bit easier to work into since the stitch pattern is moving along. It takes a few stitches for the edge to look good as well. I'll do this one more time. Under the top loop, then into the granny square, then yarn over and pull through, then work a slip stitch into the back stitch. Continue on with this process until the corner. In the corner, I usually put either 2 stitches in the same stitch if I want a more rounded corner. Otherwise, I put 3 stitches in the same stitch if I want a more point to the corner. Here's what my work looks like with 2 stitches in the corners and just the 1 stitch in each stitch around on all the sides. To finish this edge, I make my last stitch, then fasten off the yarn. I use a yarn needle to sew the last stitch to the first stitch, trying to emulate how the fishtail braid pattern goes with making the stitches. The nice thing is with this pattern, it's very forgiving, so the join doesn't need to be perfect. And that's it. That's how I crochet the fishtail braid edge border.